1914. How much of the human suffering is shown in historical perspectives, do you think? Do they become too analytical? Do we forget the human suffering?
Well, I think that there are many different kinds of history of war, and one particular kind that we've been subjected to for too long, I think, has been a very dry, sort of academic ivory tower approach, which doesn't bring out the stories that you've just related to us. And I was reminded of my experiences in Vietnam when I was researching the Vietnam War, and particularly what happened when they struck minefields, because 50% of the Australian soldiers in Vietnam after 1968 were casualties of their own mines, which were stolen from an Australian minefield. They weren't called IEDs then, but basically the story you relate, I was just thinking as you were talking about the medics were coping, because in Vietnam they all was helicoptered in, and even the downward thrust of the air was in danger of triggering these very delicately poised explosives, pineapples, and these jumping jet mines which they had in Vietnam, and the medics would go out there around the site where the blast occurred and try to pick up body parts and help men who were simply struggling in the vicinity. But they were risking their lives because it was completely covered in mines, these fields, and it led to such extraordinary mental problems as well as amongst those who weren't subjected necessarily to a blast. But,
is that something that we become more aware of when you look back at the soldiers, for example, in World War I?
Well,
clearly they must have...
But broadly, generally speaking, yes, you're right. Historians have not treated the human story on the ground in war very well, and it's only recently, in the last 20 years or so, we've seen these brilliant narrative histories which do go out and interview soldiers such as yourself, and interview medics, and interview nurses, and interview, as I did, entertainers, civic aid workers, prostitutes, everyone involved in the cataclysm of war, to try to piece together the story.